Hello and welcome to Sneaky Stories, home of short stories you can sneak into your day. Get ready to go on an adventure with some of the Sneaky Universe characters. Today we have a story from the Monicow series. My name is Pauline and I'm your storyteller, and I can't wait to share today's story with you. Remember, there aren't any pictures, so you'll need to imagine them. You can imagine the pictures any way you like.
Midnight Mischief. It was late. The air was crisp, and small droplets of water were starting to form on the leaves, glistening under the pale moonlight like tiny jewels scattered through the trees. Monicow, bovine superhero to the stars and anyone needing rescue, was going for a late-night walk to help her digest a particularly heavy dinner. The dark sky reminded her of the time she had returned an escaped possum to the zoo. That night, too, had been quiet. Her super ears caught the faint sound of distress. It wasn't the usual sound of an emergency alarm, but rather the rustling of leaves followed by a series of frantic squawks and frightened hoots from nearby birds. Monicow perked up and listened more closely. There it was again. A mysterious noise echoed through the night, along with the sounds of panic. She quickly adjusted her cape and zoomed towards the source of the noise at super speed. Following the sounds, she soon arrived in the middle of a quiet suburban neighbourhood. The residents were peeking nervously from their windows, whispering to one another. As Monicow floated above the ground, her cape gently fluttering in the wind, she wondered what was going on. Carefully scanning her surroundings, Monicow noticed a rather large possum. Immediately she deduced that the possum didn't mean any harm. It was just looking for food and a place to hide. But it was making a lot of noise and frightening the residents. It was rummaging through rubbish bins, its tiny paws flinging bits of garbage into the air. The possum's beady eyes darted around nervously, and it hissed in panic whenever it saw a shadow move. Monicow knew that if she approached it too quickly, she might make it even worse. Thinking fast, Monicow decided to use her most unusual superpower, the power of song. After all, she had trained in opera at the Chamber of Music in Rome. She knew her voice was sometimes confused with the chorus of angels. She landed softly on the ground, her hooves hardly making a sound, and began to sing a gentle lullaby. Possum, possum, don't you fret. I see you tangled in the trash you've met. With your tiny paws and twitchy nose, let's get out before it overflows. Hush now, possum, the night is young. No need to panic or stick out your tongue. The city sleeps, the stars do shine, and soon enough you'll be back in your vine. No more rummaging in bins so deep. Let's find you a cozy place to sleep. Forget the cans and leftover stew. I promise the zoo's got snacks for you. Dreams of trees and juicy bugs, of peaceful nights and snuggly hugs. Close your eyes and don't you fear. Monicow's got you. I'm right here. The possum stopped rummaging and turned towards Monicow, its little eyes wide with surprise. As she continued to sing, the soothing melody filled the air, calming the nervous animal. The possum slowly climbed down from the trash and sat on its haunches, mesmerized by the lullaby. Its eyelids began to droop, and soon it was swaying gently, half asleep. Seeing her chance, Monicow carefully stepped closer, her movements slow and deliberate. She didn't want to startle the creature. When she was close enough, she softly reached out and scooped the possum into her arms. It didn't resist. The lullaby had worked its magic, and the possum was now peacefully napping against her. With a gentle flap of her cape, Monicow took to the sky, flying towards the zoo. She soared over the sleeping city. When she arrived at the zoo, a zookeeper was waiting anxiously by the gates. "Monicow," he exclaimed in relief, "you've found our possum. We were so worried. Thank you so much." Monicow handed over the sleeping possum with a smile. "It just needed a little lullaby to calm him down. Make sure your enclosure is better secured next time." The zookeeper nodded vigorously. "We will, I promise." Monicow chuckled fondly at the memory. Animals sometimes outsmarted humans. As she turned the corner near the town's television studio, she noticed something strange. And that's where we'll leave it for this week. Tune in next week to find out what Monicow noticed. If you would like a free Sneaky Universe colouring and activity book, visit www.sneakyuniverse.com/Sneaky Stories Podcast. Sneaky Stories is a Sneaky Universe production. Written, hosted and edited by Pauline Malcolm. The music is by Trailer Works. If you would like more stories, visit www.sneakyuniverse.com.